Well, good Saturday morning, everyone, and welcome to the John J. Moore Athletic and Fitness Center and Coach Charlie Brown Court as NJCU men's volleyball hosts a Skyline Conference tri-match today. First match of the day will be the Gothic Knights against the Griffins of Sarah Lawrence College. We'll briefly take a look at today's starting lineups. First, for the Gothic Knights, you see there on the screen, the Knights will go with their second team today: Jerlis Vasquez, Julian Herrera, Raimundo Hernandez, Jeffrey Rodriguez, Mateus Casmayo, Ivan Alberti, and Dominic Castellano. Meanwhile, for Sarah Lawrence, who come in at 2-12, 0-2 in the Skyline, they will go with the lineup you see on the screen: Aaron Ashery, Ithe Diakov, Lance DeLeos, Desmond Luck, Felix Massey, Michael Yang, and Josiah Corson. The Gothic Knights are 6-6 in the year, and they have won their last outing, a 3-0 victory over a 9-4 CCNY squad. And the match before that lost to 6th-ranked Rutgers Newark 3-1, but Newark had only, coming into action, lost 5 sets the entire year, and the Gothic Knights shocked the 6th-ranked Scarlet Raiders in that opening game before losing in 4 sets. A Newark team that, in my opinion, is good enough to win a national title this year. And NJCU showing that, hey, there's 19 guys in this roster. They are going to fight, and they are not going to go down without effort. And that is what happened on Tuesday. A better team won, but the Gothic Knights said, hey, we are ready to take that next step. So we welcome you in to Coach Charlie Brown Court, which just, 9 hours ago or so was being cleaned up after the 2020 NJCU Athletics Hall of Fame class was inducted. It was a long evening, but it was an awesome evening as 7 individuals and 2 teams were enshrined in the NJCU Athletic Hall of Fame. And we congratulate Chris Feliciano, the second winningest coach in school history in men's volleyball, and of course by far the all-time winningest coach on the women's side, who was inducted last night, former men's volleyball student athlete himself. And we mentioned Chris because if Carlo Edra's squad wins this match today, Carlo Edra will move into second place in school history with 73 career wins. Well, you ask, well, how is that possible? This is his first season. Well, it's Carlo's first season of his second stint. He won 66 matches during his first 4-year run from 2008 to 2011. And now he's back for a second go. So 66 plus 6 and 1 more. And this is as close to a sure thing today for the Gothic Knights as, Sarah Lawrence, a young squad, NJCU far more experience. It would take a valiant effort here for Sarah Lawrence to pull off a win today, as the Gothic Knights have won all 8 meetings, or all 7 meetings in the past, and all 7 have been 3-0 sweeps. But we'll see what happens. We are underway. Gothic Knights won the first point on a service error by the Griffins and then put away by Ivan Alberti. Ivan Alberti, who is the second-team middle blocker, a freshman out of West New York. Serving for the Knights will be Alexander Umanzor, who started the year as NJCU's leading setter, and Leo Ferrari, who was NJCU's outside hitter, transitioned into the starting setter role. So Umanzor, who was a fine student athlete, scholar athlete in the classroom, now finds himself fighting for playing time at the setter role. Actually began his career as that is put away by Julian Herrera. Started his career on the right side, but was more effective in the setter role. 3-1 NJCU leads. We're apologizing. The graphics on the screen just decided to kick on, so those will update in a moment or so. But the Gothic Knights with a 3-2 lead. That is handled by Hernandez, and Alberti puts it away. Ivan Alberti will serve for the Gothic Knights. 4-2 NJCU in front. Block is put up, covered here by Mateus Guzmao. Dug up by the Griffins. Another attempt. Poked in the air by Eumanzor. That's going to go over the net. Knights were lucky there not to see Sarah Lawrence put it away. And again, Castellano swings. Kept alive by the Griffins. In the middle, destroyed by Jeffrey Rodriguez. By Ivan Alberti, 6-2 the lead for NJCU. And Sarah Lawrence, that one is going to be free ball out of bounds. That's an attack error. And NJCU's lead expands to 7-2. And left short by Alberti. Castellano handles that serve, put outside, and a useful spot by Julian Morera. And the Gothic Knight lead is 8-3. Making their way into the gym is Mount St. Vincent. They will play in the next match against Sarah Lawrence. This is a Skyline Conference tri-match, the first one of the year. Useful serve there by Morera. And Sarah Lawrence lucky to keep that alive. Then a good swing by Felix Massey. That comes back over. Morera outside. Castellano cross court lands it. Eight to 4, NJCU in front for Morera, the senior from Miami, to serve. Not a good set at all. Good swing, though, by the Griffins. Morera with the dig. Castellano. That one blocked back over. Here's Jeffrey Rodriguez. Gets it back to Eumanzor, who puts it away across court. Alexander Eumanzor back to the position for one moment that he started his career at and shows he still got it. 9-4. Morera continues to serve. That is too long. Well, Felix Massey, sophomore from Pacific Palisades, California, probably the most consistent Griffin. He needs to swing if Sarah Lawrence is going to have a fighting chance in this match. They call timeout. And after the timeout, it'll be NJCU continuing to serve. Julian Marrera, the ball in his hand. Marrera, good serve, and that is attacked wide by a leaping Itay Diskov, trying to keep it alive. The lead is 11-4. Ira Thor with you live here at the John J. Moore Athletic and Fitness Center. Emma Herrick is our director this morning, with Ron Jones and Shania Robinson on cameras. That one hits off the air conditioning vent at the top of the JMAC, and the Griffins can't keep it alive. The lead expands to 12-4 as NJCU pulling away here in game number 1. Again, as we said earlier, this is the 8th meeting. NJCU's won all previous 7 meetings 3-0. Well covered there by Manzor. Jerlis Vasquez, great pass. Run down here by Massey and tacked into the net. By Lance DeLiaz. The libero is a first year from Luthe, Florida. Sarah Lawrence does not use the term freshman, as that is a fresh serve off the tape and hits the court. An ace for Marrera, and it's 14-4. Sarah Lawrence does not use the term freshman. They use first year to describe their freshman students, and they have a very young squad with 3 first years on the floor. But with that said, NJCU, that has been their existence this year, as their top players have all been very young, other than, of course, John Andrews and Julian Marrera and J.J. Bertasia. But NJCU's absolutely owned the Skyline Conference Rookie of the Week category this year, winning it the first 4 weeks of the year that it's been awarded, twice each to Brandon De Silva, who has flirted with the NCAA's blocking lead all year and has been the leader for 2 weeks. And Martin Kromalak, NJCU's 6'7" freshman right side. Neither are in this match. You will see them against Mount St. Vincent. And it'll be Julian Marrera to serve here. NJCU with 19 men on its most deep roster of all time. And another ace. And the Gothic Knight lead expands. It's 16-4, NJCU on top. And blocked back by Rodriguez. Free ball, and that's going to fall in. A double block by Castellano and Rodriguez. Castellano rolls that one over. And useful spot by Julian Marrera with the roll shot. And another ace from Julian Marrera. And that is rolled short here, and the Gothic Knight lead is 22-5. And the Gothic Knight service error, Dominic Castellano, good run for him. So back to serve will be Desmond Luck, 6'1", first year out of Jersey City, New Jersey. St. Peter's Prep. Went from St. Peter's Prep across the river into the Bronx. And that is wide of the antenna by Mateus Guzmao, freshman out of Elizabeth. Two players from John Dwyer Tech on the floor, and Guzmao and Jeffrey Rodriguez. You know, Rodriguez has fallen into a split first team, second team type role this year. He was been a starter multiple times at middle blocker, and that's why. But Rodriguez, Morera, Alberti, Brandon Da Silva, that's a great foursome right there, giving you options at middle blocker. And of course, don't forget Christian Ramirez, who's been starting of late. 23-7, that is a attempt by Diakov into the net, and the Gothic Knights have set point. So Jeffrey Rodriguez, sophomore, 6'6", 230, tries to end it with an ace, and he does. An ace by Rodriguez, and the Gothic Knights win 25-7 here in game number 1. We'll be back for set 2 here on Gothic Vision. And we're back here for set 2 in Jersey City. Alexander Umanzor will serve for the Knights, winning the first set convincingly and trying for their 7th win of the year, trying to move Carlo Edra into 2nd place in school history one night after the man in front of him, Chris Feliciano, was inducted into the Athletic Hall of Fame. And Coach Edra actually sat at Chris Feliciano's table last night talking about old times. Umanzor to Marrera. That one dug up by Diakov, and then a ball handling error, a carry on the Griffins. Sarah Lawrence coached in her 2nd season by Sovani Besson. That is blocked back by a combination of Marrera and Alberti on the attack attempt by Michael Yang, the first-year opposite out of Shenzhen, China. 2-0 NJCU here. Service error. And serving here will be Aaron Ashery. Quick offense, and Alberti unleashes. Swinging away, and then unable to dig it up were the Knights, so putting that away, Felix Massey with the kill. And a destruction there by Joy Marrera. Castellano just misses. Four 3 NJCU in front. Castellano dug up and sent over, and then poked too long by Castellano. So, Sarah Lawrence. Well, they're saying that one was a net violation on the Griffins, so the Gothic Knights get the point. And it's 5-4. Joey Marrera, who had a long service run his last time in game number 1 when the Gothic Knights went in front by double figures. There's a error on the scoreboard. Should be 5-3, and they do adjust it now. You'll see that fixed on your screen. And as they get that adjusted, Joey Marrera just bounces the ball at himself, keep himself fresh. And put away. Good swing there by Felix Massey. And an ace for the Griffins, their first of the match, as Massey lands it. Another good serve. And the Gothic Knights in transition, a kill for Rodriguez in the middle. Castellano to serve his team up by 1. Now we're even as a service error ties it at 6. So the Gothic Knights took the first game 25-6. And then Morera swings away, and Sarah Lawrence already with more points than he did in the first game. Serving will be number 9, Desmond Luck, the first year here out of Jersey City. Umanzor to Rodriguez, and he's able to land that one, adjusting nicely as he was early for the one ball in the middle, but still stayed with it and poked it into open space to tie it at 7-all. So we'll have a substitution. We'll see Richard Valentin, who is typically a libero for the Knights. His only action has been at libero, one of NJCU's options there. He gets into the action here as a normal attacking player and leaves that serve short. Sarah Lawrence leading 8-7. Gothic Knights pretty much at every position this year have 3 to 4 options, and that has allowed for some incredibly competitive practices under returning head coach Carlo Edra. And Ivan Alberti showing why he certainly is going to be a factor in the future. The freshman puts that one away. Alberti, by the way, after that kill, 4 kills in 5 swings, hitting 800, but the serve is long. The Gothic Knights are going to call timeout to chat about this one. Again, congratulations to those who were there to witness it last night. The induction of NJC's 21st Hall of Fame class. Christian Acuna of men's soccer. Jennifer Buha and the late, great Julia Caceres of women's soccer. Men's and women's volleyball coach and men's volleyball athlete Chris Feliciano. Men's basketball and Veterans Committee selection Bob Johnson. Men's basketball star Jeffrey L. Jordan, and JCU's current Associate Director of Internal Operations. And former head women's bowling coach and now associate women's bowling coach in his return this year, Frank Parisi. They joined the 85-86 men's basketball Final Four team and the 2003-2004 women's bowling team as entrants into the Hall of Fame. Probably our most star-studded Hall of Fame class since the early 80s. 9-8, your score. Sarah Lawrence in front by 1. And Morera uses the top of the net to land the kill. Massey, good decision there not to attack. Dug up by Umanzor. Morera sends it deep corner. Useful spot by Julian Morera. Massey into the net. He's been their top option and should remain that way, but left that one a little short. And the Gothic Knight lead is 2. Attacked in the middle by Corson and JCU there, and sent over, blocked back. Tipped up by Alberti, and then Morera right into the middle of the court with the kill. And Sarah Lawrence going to call timeout as NJCU with a run here to take a 12-9 lead. 3-point lead for the Gothic Knights here in the middle of set number 2. Ira Thor with you here on Gothic Vision. Still have my voice after emceeing last night's event. Attack, blocking error I should say, on NJCU. Number 20, Ivan Alberti. So side out goes to the Griffins. They trail by 2. Back to serve will be Josiah Corson, a 6'2 junior at a Crow Agency, Montana, which I believe, from spending time in Montana myself in the summer of 2018, is out in Indian Reservation area. Service error gives NGSU the side out. Good pass by Massey, and then Massey, that was blocked back. And NJCU with a block here by Rodriguez and Morera. (14-10) NJCU after the block. And just missing wide. Daniel Estevos checked in as an attacking player. Now Raimundo Hernandez checks in for the Knights at libero in place of Jerlis Vasquez. And serving will be Michael Yang. Cross court, and just missing was Castellano. Castellano last year was NJCU's inaugural winner of the Gothic Grit Award, bestowed upon an NJCU athlete who's, as the award states, shown grit in dealing with circumstances in life. And Dominic lost his father last year prior to his freshman men's volleyball season. And the entire team rallied around and supported their teammate. And he came out and had a very productive freshman year for the Knights. Just a great member of this program. And that is a kill in the middle for Jeffrey Rodriguez. The lead is 4. That one, nice save there by Diakov, but doesn't matter because Jeffrey Rodriguez, that's lethal. (19-12), NJCU in front. After that latest attack error, and Sarah Lawrence called timeout. Jeffrey Rodriguez with 2 kills on his last 2 attempts, and man, he is having himself an afternoon so far, a late morning 8 kills in 9 swings, hitting .889. He and Alberti, between the two of them in the middle, 12 kills in 14 swings. Absolutely lethal. And an ace for the Gothic Knights for point number 20, Joey Marrera. Now with 2 aces over the last 4 points. And free ball sent over. Marrera is there. Umanzer pushes outside to Castellano into the back of the court. For NJCU, they lead 21-12. Castellano with his 4th kill. And Marrera will continue to serve his team 4 points away from taking the set. And that's too long. And the lead is 10. We were tied around the 9-9 mark, but the Gothic Knights went on a run and have not looked back. Marrera in the middle of the court. That's going to come over. Umanzor sends it back and will result in a kill. Good attempt there by Sarah Lawrence, including Aaron Ashry, who laid out, tried to save it with his foot, but was unsuccessful. And the Knights are 2 points away from taking the second set. And what may potentially be a very quick opening match. Massey attacks that one right to Guzmel. And then another useful spot. Aaron Ashry took a tough landing there, tried to save it with his feet, kind of stumbled over the ball. And stumbling over a ball on a basketball court hurts a lot more than on a soccer field. And NJCU, after the kill from Marrera, has set point. He'll serve. And that attack error is left short. The Gothic Knights take the second set 25-12. And they lead our match 2 sets to none. We'll be back for set 3. You're watching Gothic Knight Men's Volleyball here on Gothic Vision. We're back here for set number 3, and I'm joined on commentary here by NJCU's leading player, John Andrews. John having a great year so far, one-time NJAC Player of the Week. He's been a Skyline Player of the Week, and every time we turn around, you're having double-figure kill matches. So welcome to the broadcast, and talk about your year so far, the adjustments that you've made in the off season. I know you've been playing with some older players and being challenged, and that's truly improved your game.
Right, yeah. I try my best to just play as much as possible. The quality definitely over the quantity, so I try to play as much like AA open level games. I play a ton of outdoor, like beach, grass, so that definitely improved my passing 100%.
Is the passing, you think, probably your biggest improvement from a year ago?
I'd say so, because like transitioning from a middle position to an outside, like all of a sudden it kind of came really quickly to me, so I kind of had to make a big change, and that was probably my biggest change.
How much did the year off that you spent between your freshman year and your sophomore year help you kind of just appreciate the game more and focus on your skill?
How much was I off?
The fact that you were off, that you took a year off between your freshman season and your sophomore season, how much did that really help you just improve your skill level and refocus for your love of the sport?
Yeah, that helped me a lot in a very humbling way, because I had to kind of take a year off for like grades and things like that. So that helped me out in that aspect, like really focus and buckle down on my academics. But otherwise, it really opened me up to playing in tournaments, like indoor tournaments with a lot of my older friends. But because I couldn't before, because, I was playing my freshman year, so I wasn't available to do that. But it's funny, I spent all that off season playing middle.
Really?
And then only for the previous coach, Coach George, to tell me I'm playing outside that next year. So
what do you prefer, outside or middle?
I'm outside's growing on me. I miss middle sometimes. I miss the quickness, but I don't miss the blocking. So so it's fun being outside.
Well, you don't have to block this year, because obviously helps when you're involved, but
middle
the focus has been Brandon Da Silva.
Right, yeah.
Man, he's
he's our guy.
Second in the country as we speak in blocks per set. Obviously, you guys as the pin hitters have contributed greatly there, but the depth on this team, you must love it, obviously, as one of the leaders of this squad. That is an ace there. Yes, speaking of depth, by freshman Mateus Guzmão, and JCU with a 6-1 lead. Sarah Lawrence calling timeout here in the third set. This is the greatest depth this team's ever had.
Definitely.
And the amazing thing is it happened kind of organically. Even before Carlo Edra came in as the full-time head coach, you got 19 guys on this team right now.
Right.
And every position on this team, you're 3 to 4 deep.
Yep.
How does that just make your practices intense and just so much more efficient and competitive?
It actually makes it very intense, because how we get to do fun things like freshmen versus returners, and that just that really brings up the hype, like it really hypes all of us up, and we all appreciate that. How we appreciate the energy the freshmen bring, definitely, because the returners kind of need some of that. But it definitely came up organically, because Carlo recruited absolutely nobody. He kind of just walked in, and he was like, "Yo, John, is anybody coming back? Like, do you know, is anybody coming back from last year?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I told him a few guys, but for the most part, it's all new heads." So
and it had to happen organically, because Carlo didn't start until August, early September, and by that point, everybody's made.
He wasn't in until October.
Yeah, so October is the official start date. So by that point, everybody's made their college decisions.
Exactly, yeah.
So it's worked out that the program was in good enough shape where you had players who wanted to be here, and just think that next year you add a few pieces for your senior year, and who knows a year from now where this team will be. But talking about the present, you guys, assuming we're going to win this match, will be 7-6 on the year, and you guys have played some competitive volleyball, even in the losses. I think the loss to Rutgers and Newark kind of opened people's eyes, because Newark, 6th in the country. If I had a vote, they'd be number 2 in the country based on their track record right now. A team that could legitimately win a national title. They hadn't lost more than 5 sets the whole season, and you guys took that opening set off. So how much confidence did a result like that, even in a ultimate losing cause, give you guys? How much confidence knowing that, hey, you guys can play with anybody?
Yeah, it really opened our eyes because we know we can hang with almost anyone in the country. So it's just a matter of like how much work we want to put in. And,
that's a lot of work right there as Rodriguez destroys it.
That's the exact example.
For you guys being back in a conference and having ability to play for a championship this year, and all intents and purposes, you guys should likely be one of the 4 teams that makes the Skyline tournament.
Yeah, hopefully.
What does that mean for you guys to have something meaningful to play for?
It's very exciting. For the most part, it's very exciting. A lot of the new guys, they're coming in and they're like, all right, we finally have something to compete for. We got something to go for. Finally feel part of a team joining the Skyline, so we're excited for that.
For yourself, what are your goals this year? What do you want to see this team achieve? Obviously, a Skyline Conference Championship would be the ultimate goal, but tough league.
I have pretty high hopes.
And St. Joe's.
Yeah, I have pretty high hopes for us. I think we can definitely go second round or further in the NCAA tournament. I have pretty high hopes for this team, no doubt. And next year, who knows what we're gonna do with even more recruits and more firepower than we already have.
And then personal goals for you this year. You're a junior now. You're an upperclassman. You're a leader. What drives you? What drives John Andrews?
I'd say competing. I've always been one for competing. I've always wanted to compete. In high school, I ran track.
You ran track here for
season? Cross country and track. I don't know. I've always just had that competitive drive, and I've always just kind of needed to compete. Even if it was, like for volleyball, like in high school, I didn't really know much, but it was something new to me, and I don't give less than 100% to new things that I joined. So I kind of wanted to, make a name for myself in that aspect because I've never even really heard of volleyball before my senior year. So.
And then final question for you, obviously. You've been here for this transition as an athletic department as a whole, with obviously Sean Tucker, our new director of athletics, our new identity, all these sports being added, the RKI program, just so much energy around NJCU athletics right now. What's it been like for you to be there where we were and to see where we've gone in such a short period of time?
Such a short period, yeah. I honestly think about that all the time. I think about how we started off as we're still kind of this small school, but just like all the rebranding and everything, it's just so much to take in, It's like I've been here for about 4 years, so it's just like how much can change within that time period. It's just fantastic. And I think it inspires other schools to move forward with that too, other small schools,
You want to stay with me for some analysis as we continue this set here? The Knights up 11-3.
Yeah, no doubt.
John will help me finish off this set. The Gotham Knights look like they are well on their way to a victory here. Joey Morera is having himself a nice match here, getting the nod. You played with Joey now for 3 years. What's he like as a teammate and as a competitor?
He's very humble. He's just a beast in all aspects. Coming on with him freshman year is just it's been a ride, to have someone there by your side the whole time. Him and JJ have been my riders, him, JJ, and Chris were like the last ones from that little 9-man squad freshman year. 9
men have grown to 19. 13-3 NJC with a 10-point lead, pulling away here. Although that is put away by Aaron Ashery, the sophomore out of Brooklyn, New York. He gets the kill. NJCU just statistically right now just absolutely dominating Sarah Lawrence, hitting .424. The Knights are. Sarah Lawrence, 4 kills, 14 errors in 41 attempts. That's a negative .244 attack line. You don't want to see that. And they have not found a way to contain Jeff Rodriguez. Jeff Rodriguez right now is actually a backup at the middle blocker position. Talk
Yeah.
about how deep we are in that area.
I mean, we've got about 5 middles deep, so we're pretty comfortable rotating them all around. They can all do a pretty good job. In this case, Jeff's just going, you know, he's not letting up at all, you know.
He's got 11
Regardless
kills.
of who we play, you know, he kind of just gives it to everybody the same, so no one's safe.
11 kills in 12 attempts, hitting 917.
Wow.
That is ungodly. That last block by Umanzor and Jeffrey Rodriguez, that is his
another one. Yeah,
fourth block of the match. And Rodriguez is just destroying balls right now. I mean, it's not even a level playing field. He is that better than everybody putting a hand up against him. Marrera's got 10 kills himself, by the way. Castellano back to serve at 16-4. Outside to one of the freshmen. And that's tipped over. Yes, Mateus Guzmo with the attack before that, and Vasquez sends it over. And when you have a big block like that, talk about, you saw how Sarah Lawrence was forced to send it wide. When you have a big block that's constantly putting balls back, it completely changes the way an attacking player will approach a swing.
Yeah, when I used to start seeing huge blocks like my freshman year, when I wasn't used to like these 6'10" dudes like in high school, you know, it would definitely stir my confidence a little bit. It was like, but now, you know, we got a pretty big block, so it's pretty overwhelming to some teams at some point. You know, we got Brandon out there, we got Julian on the pin, so
that one just short by Castellano. I'll never forget the first time that I actually went up against a 6'7". I'm 6 foot. I go maybe 6'1" on a good day.
On a good day.
First time I went up against a 6'7" middle, playing Messiah, and he blocked me. I think, if memory serves correctly, I had 5 attacks and he blocked 3 of them right back in my face. And I remember.
I don't know.
And I remember just completely having to change my approach, and actually kind of that's where beach volleyball comes in handy. Because then you kind of put something else in your arsenal and find a way. And I actually ended up, I remember that match. I ended up with about 10 to 11 kills that day. But it all started with getting 3 balls blocked, stuff right back in my face.
Yeah, we all those moments, man.
When that happens as a player, you've been there where not every match you're having, an 11 kill, 2 error type thing.
Yeah, no.
There's days where your line is 9-9. For yourself, how do you refocus yourself on the court as it's happening?
I've used a few techniques. I like to try to count to 10. Try to like mentally reset. Talk to my teammates, see what they're thinking about. But overall, it's just it's just that mental game, trying to get yourself out of it, because you gotta like realize that there's more game to play than that 1 point. Like those few points don't really make the entire match. So if you stop thinking about it, it's easier said than done. But I think if really people really focus and apply that philosophy, then it'll go a long way.
The mental game, such an underrated aspect of this sport.
Absolutely, yeah.
And just forgetting the previous point. I mean, it's easier said